Ebro in the morning, Rosenberg, Laura Styles, Hot 97. The legend is here. Can I call you a legend?
It's all good.
You like that? Method Man, give it up for
Meth. Yeah.
Yo,
Everybody
bro.
got tight shirts on today. I'm just playing.
You know how it is.
Don't come in making jokes. We were wearing a collared shirt and a button-down sweater.
You know why?
Method Man's on a cardigan.
New York today. You know what I'm saying?
Woo! Rosanna Scotto?
Rosanna Scotto and Kelly's kid. Word. It was fun. It was fun too. I got to wear my glasses. I got them right here, and these are prescription, by the way.
Okay.
Wait, Method Man, your eyes going bad, my
Yeah,
dude?
I can't see. I got to wear these when I drive. It's crazy, right? Because the glare from the lights be blinding the crap out of me. I thought people had their high beams on and was fucking with me. Oops.
No, you can curse.
All right, I thought people had their high beams on and was fucking with me, but it was actually my eyes catching them glares, and I can't see shit.
Now, Meth is in a different space, y'all. He's in a movie with Adam Sandler.
That's so big.
Called The Cobbler, which comes out on when?
Friday. Comes out Friday, the 13th, March 13th. Make sure y'all get down to the movie theater early, because I'm going to every theater and piss on the first 10 people that walk in the door.
That's so nice.
That's lovely.
Right? So it makes
You're going to pee on everyone who
everything.
goes to the movie?
It makes everything authentic, you know?
What's the cobbler about?
It's basically about a, well, you know, anyone who knows what a cobbler is, except black people, they think it's a dessert.
That's what I thought.
It was a dessert.
Me too. Yep, everyone here's dessert. Yep.
Well, basically, a cobbler is a shoemaker, and this guy, Adam, plays a shoemaker who, you know, kind of hates his life. And one day, my character comes into the store, asks to get my shoes repaired and needs the soles fixed. And as he's trying to fix them, the machine breaks down, and he has to use one of the older machines that, you know, that's been around for centuries, I guess. And it does something crazy to the shoes. So when he puts on a person's shoes, he actually becomes that person, which I think is brilliant, because who wouldn't want to walk in somebody else's shoes? You know?
Literally. There you go.
Yeah, literally.
So you're on your acting swag heavy though. Like that's where what you're doing this year. We was just talking off the air. You say you and Red are gonna chill for the summertime, and you're gonna focus on acting.
Yes, sir. Most of it is because of you know, the agents and people, casting directors and people like that, like Alexa Fogel first and foremost, who said, you want to be 50 years old rapping on stage. And I thought,
Do you not want to?
No.
You don't want to?
No, not at all.
Maybe a show here and there.
Yeah, a show here and there is cool, but not because I have to.
Right.
Because I want to, you know. And I mean, she said I'm talented, and you know, a lot of people, when you get a lot of people in the room saying that you're talented, and these are people that have been in the business and know what's good and what's bad, I mean, you're gonna take their advice and get serious about it. Plus, I mean, it's fun. It's real fun. I mean, you can be anyone you want to be at any given point in time.
A lot less stress than rap too, as far as getting a check.
It depends on your director sometimes, though, because sometimes directors are demanding and they bring a lot out of you. But it's all about character development.
Can you? What's your recount? Your besides How High, the stuff with Red. Yeah. What is the other film stuff you've done?
Jeez,
you've done a bunch of stuff now. So
Copland, 187 with Sam Jackson, Great White Height was the first one. Shoot, How High, of course. Man,
How High
scary movie, but what rapper didn't do a scary movie? Right? Yeah, I mean, My Baby's Daddy with Anthony Anderson, and most of my movies are below the radar. I'm not doing Common numbers right now, but I will be doing Common money in a minute.
That's the plan, huh?
Yeah.
What's it like working with a guy like Adam Sandler? I mean, you're talking about this is a true one of the great comedic actors of the last 20, 30 years.
Anybody that knows Sandler knows that I'm not lying when I say he's just regular. You know, the guy dresses like, you know, the average.
He dresses like a hobo, let's be honest. Borderline hobo.
He's got those mean
common.
dad jeans. His dad jean game, like those
mean.
nasty-
No, and a t-shirt. And by the way, the man, I've seen him do 1,000 interviews on TV. Man never wears a t-shirt with a good collar. Collar's dragging down. He doesn't care.
What, the bacon neck?
Yeah, he got the bacon neck.
He's just a regular dude, huh?
Regular as ever, man. And I mean, like I said, kind of guy you can go to a bar and have a beer with and just chill with all day. It's like sometimes you forget he's there on set because he's just so, you know, regular.
No extra, not lots of people running around after him and things like that.
As opposed to Anthony Anderson, who cracks jokes from sun up to sundown. Non-stop. But if he wasn't funny, I'd be annoyed. You know what I mean? But he's a funny dude.
Method Man's here. Happy birthday. You just celebrated a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
44, baby. I'm proud of it, too. Very proud of it.
Why are you proud to be
'Cause
44?
I don't look 44.
He does not.
No, well, you know, the fact that I got this far, I don't have any felonies. I've never been shot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty much a win for me. That's
Yeah,
a
you-
win
you
right
made
there.
it.
I made it. Real talk.
Family and kids, everybody's rocking.
Everything copacetic over there. You might want to talk to the kids though.
Why, what's the matter?
They just, they different.
How many
They
kids do
don't
you
even
have?
It's not even. No, I'm not going there. But look, yo, they don't look. They don't make teenagers anymore. They're not teenagers anymore. This new breed,
what's
mean-agers. That's what they are, mean-agers. Take the T off of it, put an MEAN in the front. They're mean-agers. I mean, these teens
Rude.
are horrible. They're trolls in real life, not just on the internet.
They troll you all day.
Yeah.
Do your kids recognize how? I mean, listen, you're cool now, Meth. But did they recognize the level to which you were the standard for cool? Women thought you're one of he's regarded as like one of the most sexiest artists they've ever
let
had.
Laura say that. You could, because
But he likes to say it. I'm just gonna let him. Say
Laura,
it.
am I wrong though?
No, absolutely.
Women have
not.
always loved meth. I remember in high school, all the girls loved meth. Are they aware of the kind of stature you truly have had in this game?
No, and I love my kids for that, because even my oldest son, I remember he had an episode in high school because he used to have his favorite hoodie he used to wear, and the kid was like, "Ain't your father method, man? How come you always wear that same hoodie every day?" And he looked at him, he was like, "My parents do a lot for me, so I don't have to ask them for everything that I need when I want it. All right, that's why I wear this hoodie every day." Basically, he was just trying to tell the kid that he's humble and it doesn't matter who his dad is. He can dress any way he wants to dress and judge him for who he is, not who his dad is.
Did you teach him how to keep a razor blade under his tongue?
Nah, my kids don't know.
don't
My
know none
kids
of that.
ain't. Look, man, I got my younger dude, Raekwon, who I named after Chef. He's the one that ain't seen no parts of the hood, but he the most hood.
What does that mean? So he's a
Like-
totally suburban kid.
Yeah, but he just has hood tendencies. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that probably get caught stealing from a store. Something
Just
like,
cause.
Just
and
to
just
do
for
it.
irony, it'd be something like a pair of toy handcuffs or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my G.
That
right
was a
there.
dude. Was that the young man that I had to look for on the stage at Summer
That
Jam?
was Ray. He took off. That-
he took
I'm
off.
Oh
telling
my
you.
Yo,
God,
Matt was
I remember it
stressed.
well.
Because
Wait, what do you mean?
that's my baby right there for one, and he's good for that. When I was
Right.
a kid, my mother would tell you she had to deal with me at 8 years old coming home at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I would get screamed on like the first few times, but after a while it was like, okay, that's just Shotgun. Shotgun gonna be home. That was my nickname, by the way. Shotgun to be home. I ain't worried about it. Same thing with my boy Ray. Like, I'm not worried about him. The boy just, even though he hasn't grown up in the hood, he got hood
Yo,
tendencies.
everybody's on stage. Wu-Tang 20th anniversary is about to go down.
Yeah.
Everybody's on stage. I mean, everybody from the Wu, plus cousins. It was a mess up there. I see Meth walking in circles. I'm like, yo, bro, we about to do this. He was like, yo, we ain't doing nothing till I find my son.
I know.
My boy. And Ray, I'm telling you, he's the only one who wants to be in the entertainment business. That's why as soon as because we got stopped. I got stopped at the gate, and I turned around to talk to somebody, and I turned back around, and he was gone.
On stage, by the way,
stage,
on
gone.
stage.
What?
That's where he was?
OG status.
He was ready to go. Does he want to rap or does he want to act?
Ray wants to rap, but he want to do anything involved with the entertainment business. He watches a lot of Snoop and Son. He loves that show.
yeah.
That's one, I mean,
But does he
thanks,
play football?
Snoop.
Does he play football?
Yeah, he's good too.
He's good at football, too.
Really good. We got a coach from St. Joe's by the Sea. That's a good school in Staten Island. They want him, and he's 8th grade. He's gonna be a 14-year-old 8th grader because he got left back once. So, he was out there playing with these kids. Staten Island Boys Football League. Shout out to y'all. Out there playing with these kids, and it was like, they got a lot of good kids out there. Don't get me wrong. Ray's just another piece of the puzzle, but he was just out there making it look so easy.
Superior athlete.
Yeah.
But you were a good athlete.
I played football in Long Island.
You played football and you played lacrosse too, didn't you?
And
Yeah.
lacrosse, yep. 4 years of lacrosse, 5 years of football. Love lacrosse.
Name another rapper who was a known 4-year lacrosse player.
No idea.
Me neither.
He probably knows.
Anyone else? There's not another one, right?
I know about. Only people I know that played lacrosse besides myself, Jim Brown. Yeah, Jim Brown played lacrosse. That's pretty much it.
Did you deal with any racist stuff playing lacrosse in Long Island?
Absolutely. Well, you kidding me?
It was
Long
nonstop?
Island was super racist out there, man. It was like when we were walking from Nassau Coliseum sometimes, because we used to go over there to see like little events, or they had the carnival or whatever there. And I said Nassau Coliseum. I mean Hofstra University. Pardon me. And we would be walking back from Hofstra. I mean, 5 out of 10 cars would get run by niggers, throw bottles and shit like that. We ain't care, because if they would have hopped their ass out that car, they would have knew what time it was for sure.
Whoop that ass.
Yes,
Method
sir.
Man's here 88 years.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
Yeah.
An album that is being auctioned in a private auction.
Yeah.
RZA and the producer Silver Rings have come together to make this, and you've been quoted as saying you're not happy with the 88-year concept.
Yes. What my biggest thing with that was I was misinformed, first of all, even though I still think 88 years is a little ludicrous anyway, but that's not for me to say. I don't like Silver Rings, by the way. I just put that out there. For me to get that information secondhand like that from somebody that's interviewing me, I thought was insulting, first of all, because there's always going to be room for misinterpretations and all kind of stuff. And my only fault in this was speaking before I spoke to my brother. His fault in this was not speaking to me at all about what was going on with that album. So if a question like this was posed, I would know how to handle it.
Was fucked up.
Right. Now, as far as XXL went, XXL, maybe now your magazine will sell. Look, they burnt me in the past. I didn't want to do the interview in the first place, but I did it for, team player. I've always been loyal team player, and this was for the Cobbler. And Tom, I mean, he didn't have to give me this part, and he put a lot of faith in me to do it.
So you're on promo, making sure that the movie's repped.
Right. First thing comes out of her mouth. So how do you feel about people not being able to hear Once Upon a Time in Shaolin for 88 years? I said, what? I mean, you guys could read the interview, I guess. Just read the interview. But at the end of the day, I think 1 minute and 30 seconds was used in that interview. Out of 10 minutes for the interview, 1 minute and 30 seconds was wasted talking about that, and then the rest was about the movies and what other moves I was making. That article went up, I say, 2 hours after I did that with her, and she only put up that part of the whole interview, which I thought was tacky, tasteless.
Dirty.
Now, if people pull that out, you could even lead with that as a headline. But you don't want to tell other journalists. You don't want to cut the other content. The man's trying to promote a movie.
Exactly. And I told her that. I was like, she's like, but no, because I called her Miranda Johnson.
You called her personally?
I called Miranda Johnson. Yes, and they were, and I commend her.
Meth.
I commend her for even picking up the phone and taking the call. Dan Reese too. I commend you for even giving me the number, even though I had it already and was going to call her. She got on the phone, and I mean, it was like, yes, I do. I smoke marijuana. You know what I'm saying? But I don't smoke marijuana all the time, and I'm not a stupid dude. So she's trying this little Jedi mind trick. No, Meth, we're running the whole story. I was like, no, you ran part of the story, but Meth, we're going to run the whole story. I was like, are you insulting my intelligence right now? You know what you did. Only thing that you should be saying to me right now is, I apologize, but this is what I wanted to run with at the time.
Or be 100.
I
ran with that because I knew that was going to get us clicks on our site, but I'm going to post the rest in a minute.
Exactly. If that was the story you wanted to run, at least admit it. She didn't. She wouldn't admit it. She just kept beating around the bush and things. So, I thanked her for a time, told her have a nice day, and she asked me if there was anything she could do to fix it. No, it's already out there.
Is this after or before you blasted her on your social media?
This was before I blasted on social media. That came days later, and that's only because of so much of the blowback that RZA's getting.
Right.
And RZA basically don't know shit either about it. That's why I can't stand this fucking dude, Silver Rings. Man.
Now, Meth.
I'm sorry.
Real quick.
You know him, right?
Yeah. I met him the night at the art thing.
You're best friends with him.
Silver Rings?
I'm just kidding.
It's all good.
I just met him for the first time with RZA. This was, what was this, last week?
Yeah.
I went and I listened to a 13-minute excerpt of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. There was tons of other media there. They talked through the creation of it, how it was created, and RZA did say that you all, Wu-Tang, did not know what you were making when it was recorded.
Yeah.
He went on to say, and he's supposed to come up when he's got some other things going on, but he wants to come up and talk about it. He went on to say that all of Wu-Tang was on the same page, with this being a piece of art that was going to be kept as a piece of art and cherished as a piece of art. Because the issue is that music doesn't sell. And if a Wu-Tang album, which one just recently came out, it didn't sell that great. That doesn't mean Wu-Tang fans didn't love it. They loved it. It's just people don't buy music. So the concern was, let's create something that's a piece of art that can't be commercially produced.
I get it.
So that was the idea.
I love that idea, and I loved it.
And that's where the 88 years came from. Is like, listen, if anybody wants to mass produce this piece of audio, they have to wait 88 years. That doesn't mean people have to wait 88 years to listen to it.
Right.
But the owner of it, whoever buys it, and it's a private auction, this is everything I understand. I've talked to the art gallery. The owner of it can take it and play it for people, but they can't mass produce it.
And they can't give it away?
And they cannot give it away.
And he could only play it for whoever he wants.
Yeah. And it's a private auction, so that means any old Joe Blow can't go bid on this.
And this is the thing that Miranda didn't tell me when she presented it to me. And I'm pretty sure she had an idea. And she didn't present that to me at all.
A lot of people don't understand it, though.
It is weird.
Right. Then it shouldn't be in an interview, especially if you haven't fact checked.
Right. You got to understand what it is.
Yeah, which is
maybe her question should have been, "Hey, Meth, do you understand this 88 years thing?" At which point you would have said, "Not really."
Right. But the way,
don't.
yeah. And I mean, honestly, I don't like anything that seems like a gimmick associated with Wu-Tang at all. I don't like bad press with Wu-Tang. I could take bad press. I don't care about it. But when it comes to my crew and my group, I'm very protective, like my kids. It's like I could say whatever I want to say out my mouth about RZA, but I don't like other people.
But y'all
doing
family.
Yeah,
I got to tell you.
Like the hair raises on my neck. I've read some of those comments, and it's like rings. You better step up and take the blame for that, because it's not RZA's fault. And I'm putting that out there right now. It's not RZA's fault. And I don't think RZA even knew about that 88 years till later on, and he climbed on board with it. Real talk. This is this dude making weirdo moves, and this is how it goes when you dealing with, like for us, the beginning of whatever turned people off to Wu-Tang was a lot of the B artists, and a lot of the B artists taking liberties with the W and doing all kind of weird stuff with it, and the music wasn't up to par, and you had Wu South and Wu Midwest, and
I was
all
a big
this
Wu
other
Midwest guy myself.
I'm just saying, all this stuff
Wu
popping
Cincinnati
out,
was my favorite thing.
stuff popping out, right? It was even an episode where we're working on an album, and we got overshadowed by a dude cutting off his dick.
I know. I remember.
That guy was
Are you
Wu-Tang.
serious? And I'm telling you, honestly, I know the
Remember?
dude. I know the dude. But has he ever been around? He's probably been around the whole crew 3 times, the most, the whole crew. He's
I've been around more
us
than that.
individuals, number of times and stuff, But as far as Wu-Tang, that's not Wu-Tang. But he forced, he overshadowed everything that we was doing at that point in time for cutting his dick off. Really?
I got to tell you, it is pretty bold. I mean, at least he didn't just cut off a pinky, dude. It was his dick. So I mean, you got to give him credit where credit is due.
But you gotta.
No, I believe me. I understand completely. And you
stuff
don't want
like
it to be
that,
diluted.
I don't like for people to taint. I mean, if we gonna fuck up, let it be us. If Chef gonna come up in here and badmouth RZA all day, and or Ghost come up in here and talk this, that, and the third about whoever and shit, they could do that. They part of the crew. But I don't want no outside dudes taking liberties and doing this, that, and the third and saying that's Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Because that reflects on all of us. And by Rings doing this thing with this 88-year thing, I'm glad I said what I said, even though it was out of context. I'm glad I said what I said, because they're not going to sit there and blame my crew for this, man.
So
we ain't with the gimmicks.
Have you had a conversation with RZA about all of this?
Oh, we spoke briefly about it. You know what I'm saying? After everything had happened, I explained to him exactly what happened and told him to do the knowledge and read the article closer. And he did, and he hit me, and he was like, I understand and understood, which to me is the ultimate elevation of love right there.
You guys, I got to tell you, you guys might not, this might sound crazy to you. I love Wu-Tang more as time goes on. You guys are the most loving, dysfunctional family ever. Yes. And when I say that, it's to say there's always something going on. There's always a thing. Yet it's always family beef. And I love it because it's like no one says anything nasty about each other.
That's right.
It's just basically the equivalent of like, well, Meth's a dick.
Yeah.
And you guys are just like brothers who are just like, I love it.
Yeah, and we the only ones that's gonna get away with that. Please
Exactly.
Because I will tear somebody's head off thinking they're gonna come around me and be like, yo, what's up with RZA? What's up with him?
Exactly. Don't even mention Prince Rakeem.
Straight up.
But I just heard you diss him, though. No,
Yeah,
you
but
didn't.
what's
No,
up
you
with him?
didn't. No, you didn't.
I said it. I dissed him. That's my brother. Now,
know-
when you look back at the Wu-Tang history, are there projects that you do think of as being true affiliates to Wu-Tang? Like
Kill Army.
Kill Army.
And that's because they have blood brothers in there, Ninth Prince. You know what I mean? That's RZA's blood brother right there. And Killer Sin, that's Power's blood brother right there,
So they were
had
directly-
direct ties. Plus we watched them grow up.
What about
The
Sons of
majority
Man?
Sons of Man, those brothers, Dirty side, because Dirty grew up with 60 Sec, you know what I mean? Prodigal Son been around since day one from when we was recording the album, Hellraiser, all those brothers, they Brooklyn. You know, so yeah, that's official.
Those ones you
That's
consider
official. Yes. Plus, we love what they stood for. Sons of Man, come on, man. What are you gonna do with that? Five Archangels is still one of my favorite singles ever.
That single was
Make
so
way for the
mean.
warpath, the psychopath on the astral blast, killing something more for break a habit fast. What up, 60 Cent?
I love Wu-Tang.
We hanging out on Throwback Thursday with the legend Method Man. He's got a movie coming out Friday, The Cobbler. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You smoke weed with Adam Sandler, bro?
No, I don't smoke when I work.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't smoke on set?
Anymore.
No, it started with How High. I ain't gonna lie, cause when we used to in the morning, I can't smoke in the morning. I get nauseous and shit. So we used to go on set in the mornings.
Hold on, we gotta pause for that for a second.
I get sick.
Method Man is 44 years old, and
can't
he
wake
no
and bake.
longer can wake and bake. I just
No,
he
it
gets
gets
you
me nauseous.
sick.
I have to eat first.
You're the reason that kids are waking and baking to this day. They're still
They can
16-year-old.
still do it. They can still do it.
But
They
not
still
you.
have the lung. No, I can't do it. I get nauseous.
Iron
real
lung
fast.
is rusted.
Yeah, but for the morning poop, you gotta smoke. Yeah, the morning poop. But damn, I lost my face.
No, you were saying you don't smoking with How High you
Yeah,
stop smoking.
but How High when we used to come in the mornings, we on point, hitting marks, everything, performance, everything. Go to lunch, come back. It was like a laugh fest, man. Couldn't get any work done. And Stacy Sher, I remember she pulled me to the side and was like, "You guys are so much better in the morning than you are in the afternoons."
That was her nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
Stop smoking.
Yeah, yep. And she said, "I'm not the one that's going to be on camera looking crazy. Think about that." And I was like, "You know what? You're right. You
Pulled
are
it
absolutely
together.
right."
Meth,
And
I heard
said,
you're in
right.
the Game of Thrones mixtape.
Yeah.
Are you a big Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah, I love Game of
Yo, I
Thrones.
love
I mean,
that
I didn't catch on to like third season because I tried to watch the first season and I don't like talk, chatter. Too much chatter. What's your chat about?
You want what's your chatting about?
Yeah, what's your chatting about? But as it picked up and the story goes on, because I saw Lord of the Rings, the original one that was animated in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people's up on that. And I remember watching The Hobbit on TV, the cartoon, the animated one. So medieval stuff has always been like core in my family. My father was a big Sinbad fan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's not exactly medieval, but you know, it's sword and swashbuckling and, you know, sort of the same genre. Now, for me, if I could get a movie like that, you know, something like.
You pitching yourself right now?
Yeah.
on 997?
Yeah, if I can get a movie like, I've been working out too.
Yo, what character? If you could
I
play,
bring Sinbad back. Sinbad should have been black anyway.
of course. Talk.
He should have been black anyway.
Sinbad is black. What are you guys talking about?
Not
He's
the
hilarious.
comedian. Not the comedian.
He wears high pants.
It's Hot 97. Method Man's here.
What can you tell us about working with TuPac? Any stories from that experience?
None, because TuPac wasn't there. But I'll tell you this.
They just sent you the record.
Now keep it 100, right? Because if y'all know, Pac was locked up, right?
Yeah.
When Pac came home, this how 100 Death Row kept it with him. When Pac came home, whatever material Dog Pound had, Dre had, Snoop had, any of them had, they gave to Pac so he could do his album. So that's why when you listen to the album, California Love was supposed to be on Dre's album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The one that I'm on with
Red.
Corrupt and Red, and that was supposed to be for the Dog Pound album. And Rage was in the spot that Pac was in. And Deck was on the record also. But by the time Pac got on it, you know, but when I met the brother later on down the line, it was at when all this East-West crap was going on, but it wasn't no East-West crap when Bad Boy and Death Row, whatever, was going through their little shit. I remember because I was high and I was
Baked.
and you know, I'm baked, but I'm in LA. It's just me. I ain't out there with nobody.
Y'all
Me and
had,
my homie.
y'all had a mansion out there. Remember that?
Yeah,
back
we
in the
did,
day?
but
Y'all
we
had
didn't have no mansion then. It was just meth out there.
Got
Like,
it.
boom, I'm in here, right? So I remember sitting up in one of the booths. You know how House of Blues is set up. I'm sitting in one, and this is the pre-Soul Train party. So I'm sitting up in one of the booths, and I'm just like looking around at everything, and I'm starting to feel the tension. Before that, I wasn't feeling the tension. I mean, we was even, the plane coming to LA, Suge was on our fucking plane.
Love.
You know what I'm saying? So it was all love. I'm in there and just tension. It just felt weird. And I remember seeing Puff come through. That's where it started for me at. Because I remember seeing Puff come through, and Puff had like 5 bodyguards with him. And this is like one of the only times Puff ever stopped to speak to me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, back in them
During
days.
those- during
during
those
those days. You know, Big was still alive.
Right.
Whatever. This one of the time first stopped to speak to me and shit. So, you know, I felt a little uneasy. Like, what the fuck was that about? Puff don't do that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to shake it off, and I'm sitting up in the booth, and I remember somebody snapped me out of funniest thing. First funniest person ever snapped me out of it. Latifah came through for Dolo. And you know, La got that bop. You know, like, Meth, that's you, Method Man? What the fuck you doing in that corner? And I was like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing in this corner? Got up, passed me. I don't want to give her half of that. You know.
What up, Dana?
What up? And after that, it was just Culiente. To make a long story longer, we on our way out. Lights come on at the end of the party. Party over. Lights come on. I'm blowed now. I'm like, shoo. Feel a tap on my shoulder. Turn around. It's Pac. I ain't seen this nigga all night. I ain't know he was even in there. I turn around. Pac there. He's like, yo, wanna holler at anybody we want to fuck with this Wu-Tang. Next thing I know, cameras every fucking where. So while he's saying this, I remember an altercation happened with RZA in Vegas. Something happened with the chain, and Pac was trying to tell me, if I was there, that shit would have never happened. Blah, 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 blah. And I remember looking up, and Suge was like this with the cigar in his mouth, looking down at me like this. So I'm like, damn, I just want to play with this nigga. Why you looking at me crazy right now and shit, So then I look at Pac, and Pac got a whole different face. His face looked like that picture before he died. That face he had.
Oh, this one.
That look. He had that look on his face and shit. You know what I mean? And I remember looking back down, and I couldn't understand anything he was saying after that because mad shit was going through my head, and I'm looking at the death row piece on his chain. Then he was like, yeah, we gonna all meet up, and I was like, yeah, you know how men do it. We're handling our business. Walked out. Soon as I walked out the club, Tracy Waples. Love Trey Wap.
Executive label executive. Yeah. Worked behind the scenes for a long time.
She outside in a Benz like, Meth, come on, get in the car. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not making a connection here. And I'm like, oh, that's Puff car. That's Puffy car. Ain't no way I'm getting in that motherfucking car. No fucking way. Even though, I ain't got no beef with Puff, and I ain't got nothing with no East-West shit, but there's no way I'm getting
because then it looks like you picking sides.
Boom,
and
bam.
Boom, bam. Yeah,
back.
I'll take a cab, thanks.
Son, we went to Pink Dot right down the block.
Yep, got you a little hot dog.
We ain't even going to Pink Dot. We standing in the alleyway rehashing the whole night now. Paranoid as fuck. We expect.
High.
Yeah, high. And I mean, we must have been there for like an hour before we left. Like, you know what? Fuck about it here, man. But it was a bugged out evening. That was when I met TuPac, y'all.
It was and for anybody watching, listening to this right now, it was a time. It was a lot of plotting going on.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like, if this one moves like this, I'ma move like this.
Yeah.
Because there was so much money being made on record sales. It was so much money being doled out to Puff, Suge, these labels, to develop acts, to take over the charts, to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
And cats was really playing chess, like who's moving with who. How can I make this look like this? Like
Nothing makes me happier than hearing street smart and smart generally New Yorkers talk about what's happening and looking at a situation.
Well, because
very much amusing.
outsiders would have never thought that Puff and Meth didn't have a relationship like that.
I'll be there
like
for you.
that, no.
Remix that you guys won a Grammy together.
Y'all gotta understand. Okay, Puffy the man, like Sean or whatever and shit. You get him 1-on-1. Puff is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. I played Torture with him when I did the song with Big, but Puffy, P Diddy, and you around a bunch of other motherfuckers. That's Showtime, baby. And I don't blame him because he got to live up to the persona. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that really is his persona. But like I said, he wasn't the type of person go out his way to speak to you. Type of thing.
Well, was there any? Everyone always asks about and talks about the weird. Was there ever anything weird between you and Big?
Nah.
At all. Everyone's like they were going at each other on Fuck the World.
Because the whole F the World shit, and Big did write his verse. I saw him write it. And people saying he ain't write his lyrics down and shit. I saw him write it. But nah, I mean, Ray had, did the skit or whatever about Big or whatever and stuff. And that's because Ray felt like, niggas was big on Nas. Niggas love Nas. You know what I'm saying? To this day, niggas still love Nas and shit. My crew, like, Nas is unofficial Wu member. You know what I mean? For real. But Chef felt like it was disrespectful that Big would take that cover art like that and do that. And I mean, honestly, in the 90s, everybody was biting. And I'm gonna put it out there. Like people said I sounded like Busta and Sticky and all these brothers, and these are artists that I admired. So yeah, I took pieces up there.
Everyone does.
Everybody did it. So I mean, give credit where credit is due. Big didn't do that. Chef felt some kind of way, said whatever he said about it. But Big, being who Big was, the cool individual he was, he took it. He didn't take it like all of those niggas is my enemies. You know what I'm saying? If anything, he wanted to embrace brothers even more. And there was times where we had shows with him where dudes would walk in, didn't necessarily feel the same way Chef and Ghost did, but it was a family thing. So they would walk right by him, not say shit to him. Whereas me, I always stopped and kicked it with him. Like, what's up, Big? Yeah. Popping, me and C's, Well,
I mean,
like
also,
family.
We also can't overlook, you can't overlook the importance of Fuck the World, the What as it became known,
Yeah.
for you, I mean, that record at the time, that was like getting the two hottest underground cats on one record, and it was random, and it was amazing. That's a big moment.
Because I didn't see it like that when I was doing it.
How'd you think of it?
My homeboy Ray the Ruckus, who's like Ruckus. I mean, I shout him out on.
I've heard him on. I've heard his name many times.
This dude is #1 for bootleg movies, bootleg CDs. I mean, yo, music, he got it, and he told me about Big. Dan Smalls had already put me on to him about Party and Bullshit at some convention or whatever. But Raid played some of his joints. I don't know how Ray got these shits, but he had them. And I remember Me and My Bitch, and he was like, yo, you ever get a chance to do a joint with this nigga, do it. Then Ray got locked up. We didn't know when the nigga was coming home. So when I did meet Big and Big approached me about it, jumped on it right then and there. Tracy Waples came and picked me up from my crib, and we went down to go do the damn record. And it was cool and shit. I thing that sticks out most for me is that gap between Easy Mo BT, because I kept staring at it. And he's a smiley face. He's a humble cat. Happy, humble dude. And you can't help but see it. You know what I mean? Love Easy Mo. What up?
By the way, Method Man is here, and we're talking about a lot of things here on Hot 97, Ebro in the Morning, Rosenberg. We were just talking about movies and TV that Method Man left out of his resume when we were running down earlier, because he's got a movie out this weekend called The Cobbler with Adam Sandler.
Yes.
And he left out the fact that he was in Brown Sugar, which we all forgot, and The Wire.
Yeah, well, I don't understand how you got left on the cutting room floor of Brown Sugar. That seems like a movie that you should have had a prominent role in that movie.
They took me out, brother. I mean, if you look at the DVD, though, I was on there. But one of my favorite rap actors was in there, Mos Def. Most needs more work.
Well, can he come back to the United States?
Yeah, he's not banned. I saw him when I was over there.
So that was some bullshit.
Yeah, he's not banned.
Web shit.
He just chose to be over there.
Yeah, I just don't think he wants to be here.
He just wants to be there.
So we're doing Throwback Thursday. Go ahead, Laura Styles.
No, I read that Raekwon he just did a Kickstarter campaign for a documentary. Did you hear about that?
Ray is such a boss.
Yeah, I think it was only built for Cuban links.
For the documentary.
For the documentary,
yes, he's doing an anniversary for the Purple Tape documentary. Yeah.
All right, well, Chef is such a boss, but you know what, Chef? Leave the Purple Tape alone. His dad's been done. I mean, everything comes back to the Purple Tape. It's like us always referring to, it's like that person that been to the war, and every conversation, even if you're talking about going to get something to eat, he refers back to the war. Like, I remember we didn't have McDonald's. We had to eat grubs and shrubs and things that, why you always talking about the war, nigga?
Well, hold on, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. But Matt, are you saying that because everyone tends to say that Purple Tape is the crown jewel of all the Wu-Tang solo albums?
Is it?
Yes.
I like Supreme Clientele. I think
that one's right there.
Supreme is,
and Liquid Swords is right there. There's a lot right there.
You know what? You got the wrong person, because I like so much of our own.
Where do you put yours in those ones?
You know how I feel about my first solo. It was a lot of turmoil and stuff going on. I had to record like on the fly. We were on the road, our first road trip to LA and all that.
And you were out first? You came out first, right?
And a lot of the music got lost in the flood, so he had to redo a lot of stuff, and some of the beats didn't make it, and it was a little clusterfuck.
I mean, by the way,
I was in the studio literally with mice running around certain studios, and the Papa Stopper had like the woman stocking on it, the stocking cap on it, shit like that with the hanger.
Yeah. So there was a real benefit to the guys who got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, Chef went to the Bahamas. Him and Ghost went to the Bahamas for like 2 weeks before he even recorded a word. Come on,
they got to live life.
Boss, he a boss.
In retrospect, okay, Method Man, the single, the B-side became the radio hit. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, out of the camp, here comes Method Man, as they're pushing you to be a solo artist. Here comes Def Jam with the check to make Method Man the solo artist. Yeah. What I hear you saying right now is that happened a little too fast, because you were still touring with Wu, and you had the pressure of Def Jam and Method Man being a solo artist, and all the other shit happening.
But I didn't know the amount of stuff on my plate until it got too deep. Because at first, I was just happy to be off the block. I mean, our first interview we did with The Source, where we took those pictures with the Columbia suits on and shit like that. Nigga, I was making sales in between them shots. Like, how many you want? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It real life, real rap. No filters, no nothing, man. Like bummy ass niggas trying to fucking do something right. And it was to the point where I didn't care if we was making money on the road, because I wasn't on the block. I was not on
whatever gets me out of here.
Gets me off the block. And the funny thing is, being on the road for months, I missed the block and wanted to come back. It's just fucking acting weird and shit.
Did relationships get hard to manage when you became a breakout superstar and you have other affiliates, even people who were in the original 8 or 9 members of Wu-Tang, who were on a totally different financial level than you, a different celebrity level? Was that complicated to navigate those relationships?
It could be told now. I mean, when I used to come back off, doing certain things, movies and TV and stuff like that, or certain award shows and stuff like that, I was made to feel like I couldn't talk to brothers about it. Because it was not, how you come in with a certain energy, you excited, and what's up? It was like,
and you wanted to be like, yo, you're not gonna believe what I just did.
Exactly, but it wasn't like that. And I'm not saying the brothers were jealous. That far from it, because everybody was eating. I'm just saying like they wasn't as happy for me as I was for me. Kind of like when I lost when my money was taken or whatever and stuff. Brothers felt for me, but they couldn't feel for me. Meaning, like, if I sat here and told you my grandma died, maybe you knew her, but you wouldn't feel it the way I felt it. It's like, oh man, your grandmother died. You feel it for that second, but it doesn't last with you for months.
Linger.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff like that lingers.
How much money did you lose?
It was a lot.
I
didn't lose it.
Tax stuff?
No, it wasn't taxes. No, it was some shady stuff going on. But like I said, I'm not. It was some shady stuff going on, and some money was taken, and I never got that back. So, that's why meth. I keep everything regular. I don't own 2-3 cars. Man, I don't even own a car. Wife got a car, but I don't even own a car because I don't feel like driving. After my car was stolen, I said to hell with the whole thing. One house, in
New York, in this area. You stay in this area all the time.
Island.
In Staten Island.
I stayed in Staten Island, and just regular. I mean, I remember being in the airport and these dudes were just staring, and they was like, "Yo, Matt, why you so regular? Like that's a bad thing,
You happy like that?
Yeah, I'm happy like that. They don't make Gucci in my size, Louis, none of that stuff in my size,
But he did have that Gucci bag when he walked in.
Oh yeah, but see, I get a Gucci bag because when you traveling, you gotta understand something. Look, I take a lot of airplanes, right? And when I dress like I usually dress and get on the plane, they don't even say, when you get on the plane, they say hi to everybody, and when you get off, they say goodbye. They don't say goodbye to me and shit. I'm like, what's the problem? I don't get that same service, but I dress up, I throw on a shirt, a little vest.
The glasses.
Whole different. Sir, maybe take your coat for you, sir. How are you today?
Let's go to Staten Island real quick. I want to have a conversation about Eric Garner. You lived in that area for your entire life.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the world of Staten Island and how different it is than the rest of the planet.
Right.
And even the rest of the tri-state and New York City.
Yeah.
So that incident happens. The whole community over there is up in arms. For people who don't know Staten Island, can you explain the economic, racial divide and also the gentrification that's taking place over there?
Okay, well, with Staten Island, man, it's like the rich get way richer, the poor stay poor. We've always been under the boot heel of, politics, the police force, everyone. No one's ever threw us a bone, gave us any effing thing. And, as soon as we step outside our realm, I remember Halloween when we used to go to, like, Rose Bank and stuff like that. We used to get police escorts because they didn't want us there and make us leave the neighborhood.
Get you in, get you out.
Right. As far as the Eric Gardner thing, it's nothing new to us. I hate to say it, unfortunately. My man Case was same thing happened to him. The chokehold, everything, they killed him. That cop that did that, killed him, murdered him. The cop that murdered him, Donald Brown, is the same reason I'm not on the Wu-Tang album, any of the pictures in the first Wu-Tang album, because he locked me up that day.
Wow.
Smoking a blunt. Now, it was cool. I mean, I was smoking. He said, put the blunt out. I put the blunt out. He said, no, throw it in the water. I said, I'm not throwing it in the water. Okay, lock me the fuck up. Months later, and reckless cop, mad fucking reckless. He made it so I couldn't leave that day. He said I was under the influence, keep him overnight. Had to stay overnight, went to Brooklyn, bailed out, whatever. He, months later, or maybe a year later, kills my man. Kills
Being
my man.
reckless again.
Being reckless again over a firework that my man didn't even throw. You know what I mean? They beat him, strangled him. Eric Gardner all over again.
Because it's a small community there.
Yeah.
The cops know the individuals. They know the young kids that hang out. They know the rappers. They know anybody coming out of that area, whether they play basketball, sport, whatever.
They're in the areas to know who's who and what's what. Like I had, certain cops have their dude that they fuck with. And I think that dude that did that with Eric Gardner, he fucked with Eric.
Because you could tell in the video, Eric was like, yo, why you fucking with me today?
Exactly. And for me, it was a cop named Elvis. My vindication came, we used to call him Elvis because he looked like Elvis. But
Got it. It wasn't actually
Chris Bisignano. All right. At the end of the day, I understand not the dude was just trying to do his job, but he used to come through the block. Shaquan, what are you doing with your money? You're a bum on the loudspeaker. I'm thinking this shit cool. Oh, the cops know my name. So somebody put me on again, nigga. It's bad they know your fucking name. You next. You hear me?
Yeah.
Well, my vindication came when I was going to MTV Awards. And they block off the street, Radio City, block off the street. And who's pulling back the police barricade to let my car through? Elvis. But I give him credit because he had the white shirt with stripes now. So
he had moved up a level.
He had moved up. And I rolled the window down. I was like, Elvis, what's good? He looked at me, gave me a nice little knowing nod, and I gave him a nod back. Respect. We on the other side of the game now, you know? And this isn't saying all Staten Island cops, because a lot of cops actually live on Staten Island. All the cops aren't assholes. There are a few, more than a few, that are cool. I myself personally have been pulled over by cops who have smelt marijuana in the car, who knows? Look at me and say, Method Man, grew up on your shit, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but they're cool about shit. You know, why bust my balls? Am I doing nothing, illegal?
Not hurt nobody,
I'm just point A, point B.
In that area where Eric Garner was choked and killed, that area is changing, I'm told.
Yeah.
It's waterfront. They building buildings. Now they trying to push those people in that lived in that community for decades.
I think that was part of it.
Push them out.
And I think that was definitely part of it, them gentrification. Right?
Yeah.
And Staten Island has always had the potential to be a big money place. They've been trying to separate us from the 5 boroughs since I've been in Staten Island. We could be our own borough. And if you look at the tolls, they should be caked up. Tolls almost $20 to get home. It's just, we remember when the Navy guys used to come, prices go up, all the stores and stuff down there. Now they're rebuilding. They're making it look like a mini, like over there where in Jersey
City.
There you go. Over there where they got everything.
The financial buildings and the big bank buildings, all that.
They're doing that now with Staten Island, which I think is good, but I just want to see that trickle down to where I'm from.
The little guy.
Exactly. Because I and there's plenty of people in New York know about this. I used to hate not having, when I was off from work, it's wintertime, I'm off from work, and I'm trying to rest the whole day, and the super down there beating on the pipes. Bang, 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 bang. I used to always wonder what the fuck that was for. Why was he beating on them pipes? You know what I'm talking about? Anybody from the hood knows that most annoying sound in the world. I could deal with the sirens, all that, but I could not stand the superintendent banging on them pipes trying to get them shits to work, man. Worst shit in the ghetto ever. I forgot what point I was trying to make.
But still,
that
needs to be said.
Look, man.
I mean, he gave us some great stuff.
No, this is it. I'm going to just go out, make sure I support and see Cobbler in theaters tomorrow with Adam Sandler. We're very excited, man.
Real quick, when Little C's was here, he did mention that Big said that you were his favorite rapper.
That's what's up.
Yeah, when Little C's was here when he did the anniversary of Biggie. That's
why I
dope.
shouted him out on Keep Watch. C's always been my man. C's always been my man. Word.
There it is.
Method Man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.